Hello everyone, welcome back to the video on my drama channel. I know I haven't posted much on this channel lately, but I am going to make more videos. I have other videos coming up. I'm working on them. Believe me, I am. I have other projects and other plans coming up. But I'm going to talk about, for now, how the Miami Heat beat the Boston Celtics. And I honestly thought it was pretty impressive, honestly. I really thought the Heat were going to lose. Like, after all, they won the first 3 games against the Celtics in their division series in the playoffs, but they lost 3 games in a row. I thought it was it for the Heat. I thought the Heat were finished. I thought it was over. They lost 3 games to the Celtics. I thought all hope was lost, but they won the 7th game, and it shows they still have a chance. They still have a chance to win the championship. The Miami Heat beat the Boston Celtics. Now let me read some articles I found talking about this. There's an article in the New York Times called "The Miami Heat Earned a Trip to the NBA Finals the Hard Way." The Heat, just the second 8th seed to reach the championship round, nearly blew a 3-0 series lead against the Celtics. Next, they faced the top-seeded Denver Nuggets. The NBA's Eastern Conference Championship trophy had been found its way to the visiting locker room at TD Garden on Monday night. Set atop a couple of packing trunks with metallic trim, the trophy, a sterling silver replica of a basketball, was an attraction for the Miami Heat, who had earned it the hard way with their stunning 103-84 victory over the Boston Celtics in Game 7 of the conference finals. Players and staff members, clad in NBA Finals hats and t-shirts, positioned themselves next to the trophy for photographs and selfies, memorializing the team's beautiful struggle before a late-night flight to Denver, where they will face the Nuggets for the NBA championship starting Thursday. "We never thought it would be easy," Miami forward Bam Adebayo said. The Heat's resurgence as the East number 8 seed has surprised everyone but them. Even when they were scuffling through the regular season, losing nearly as often as they won, coach Eric Spoelstra struggled with his approach. Spoelstra said they were capable of improving to continue to focus on their daily work. "I think probably people can relate to this team," Spoelstra said. "Professional sports is kind of a reflection of sometimes of life. Things don't always go your way. Inevitable setbacks happen, and it's how you deal with that collectively. There's a lot of different ways that it can go. It could sap your spirit. It could take a team down for whatever reason. With this group, it steeled us and made us closer and made us tougher." They believe the toughness against the top-seed Nuggets, who secured their first trip to the NBA Finals by completing a sweep of the Los Angeles Lakers in the Western Conference Finals a week ago. The Heat was the second 8th seed after the 1998 to 1999 Knicks to reach the championship round under the current playoff format. "Everybody's confidence is so high," said Heat forward Jimmy Butler, who was named the most valuable player of the series after scoring 28 points in Game 7. "We have belief that we can do something incredibly special, so we're going to hit the ground running when we get to Denver, and I like our chances." The Nuggets were rested and deep, or most likely the Heat's toughest challenge to date. At Butler's post-game news conference, he was asked how he and his teammates plan to show Nikola Jokic, the Nuggets star center and two-time league MVP Butler, said he was giving himself until midnight. It was 11:42 p.m. at the time. We're beginning to think about the coming series. "I don't know," he said. "I got 2 days to figure that out." At this late stage, though, the Heat appeared to savor absurd tests. They traveled a long road just to reach the conference finals. They had to defeat the Chicago Bulls in a play-in game to slip into the postseason. They proceeded to lose 2 rotation players, Tyler Herro and Victor Oladipo, to injuries in their first-round series with the East's number 1 seed, the Milwaukee Bucks. After Miami won the first 3 games of its series with Boston, Spoelstra said a lot of pent-up stuff had been fueling his team, but declined to elaborate. His players were more forthcoming. They recalled being eliminated by the Celtics in the conference finals last season, and especially disappointing existence the Heat were the East's top seed in the series won 7 games. This time around, the Heat pulled a 3-0 series lead and promptly lost 3 in a row, a demoralizing stretch that included a brutal last-second loss in Game 6 when the Celtics' Derek White converted the pullback layup at the buzzer off an errant three-pointer. The Heat could have crumbled, instead they dipped into their bottomless well of perseverance. "Sometimes you have to suffer for the things that you want," Spoelstra adding. "Sometimes you have to laugh at the things that make you cry." So yeah, that's one article. Let me see. On Monday, for a hostile Boston crowd that was at a favorite pitch during the player introductions, the Heat seemed intent on drowning out the noise by relying on their defense. The Celtics missed all 10 of their three-point attempts in the first quarter. Making matters worse, Jason Tatum, the Celtics' best player, appeared limited after he sprained his left ankle at the team's opening possession. Heat led as many by 17 points before halftime. Caleb Martin, a small forward who was moved into the starting lineup for Games 6 and 7, was the Heat's most consistent player of the series. He had 26 points in Game 7 and made 11 of his 16 shots, including 4 3-pointers. Gabe Vincent, the team's starting point guard, played the final two games with a sprained ankle, and Duncan Robinson came off the bench to make timely 3-pointers. We have some hoopers, Butler said. We have some real-deal basketball players that can score, can defend, and can pass, and can win games for us. The Heat's role players are the difference against the Celtics, who figured out how to make another deep playoff run after losing to the Golden State Warriors in the NBA Finals last season. But obstacles, both predictable and unforeseen, hinder them before they could be convened for the preseason. They can even convene for the preseason. Atop the list was the sudden absence of Ime Udoka. Forgive me for mispronouncing that. Ime Udoka, who was the Celtics' first-year head coach last season, led his defense-minded imprint on the team. But in September, less than a week before training camp, the Celtics suspended him for the season for violations of team policies. The entire situation cast an unwelcome shadow on the Celtics as they sought to focus on the season ahead. It's been hell, Marcus Smart, the team's starting point guard and last season's defense player of the year, said at the time. Instead of going outside the organization to hire an experienced coach as Udoka as a replacement, the team prioritized continuity by temporarily promoting Joe Mazzulla, who had been an assistant on Udoka's staff. The Celtics named Mazzulla as their permanent head coach in February and officially severed ties with Udoka, whom the Houston Rockets hired as the head coach last month. But Boston slumped over the final weeks of the regular season, slipping on to the number 2 seed in the East behind Milwaukee, and needed 6 games to eliminate the Atlanta Hawks in the first round. The pressure only mounted on Mazzulla and all the team's 2 stars, Tatum and Jaylen Brown, during the Celtics conference semifinal matchup with the Philadelphia 76ers. Tatum and Brown were inconsistent as the series stretched to 7 games. But after Tatum scores 51-point series, clinching tour de force against the 76ers, the Celtics ran into the Heat, a savvy and experienced opponent with payback in mind. United led up against the Celtics, not for a season of growth under Spoelstra, now with Butler filing as more unsung teammates of confidence, and not against an opponent that buried Miami's championship dream a year ago. Nobody's satisfied, Butler said. We haven't done anything. We don't play just to win the Eastern Conference. We play to win the whole thing. So yeah, that's one article. Let me see. NBA Conference Finals. Miami Heat beat Boston Celtics in Game 7 of Eastern Conference Finals. Jimmy Butler scored 28 points, and Caleb Martin added 26 as the Miami Heat won their series decider to become only the second number 8 seed to reach the NBA Finals, where they will face the Denver Nuggets. Miami Heat avoided becoming the first team to squander a 3-0 NBA playoff series lead after beating the Boston Celtics 108-84 in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals on Monday. After dramatic defeat in the final seconds at home in Game 6 on Saturday, Miami got the win they needed Boston TD's Gardens to reach the NBA Finals against the Denver Nuggets. That series to begin on Thursday. Miami's Jimmy Butler named the Eastern Conference Finals MVP after averaging 24.7 points, 7.6 rebounds, and 6.1 assists in the series. Struggled in Game 6, was set back to his best on Monday with a game-high 26-28 points. Caleb Martin added 26 as the Heat became the second number 8 seed to reach the NBA Finals, the first since the New York Knicks in 1999 having bounced back from losing the previous 3 games. Bam Adebayo recorded 12 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists as Miami finished the job with teams holding a 3-0 series lead, going to 51-0 all time in the NBA playoffs. Jaylen Brown at 19 points and 8 rebounds, while Derek White scored 18 points. The second seeded Boston became only the 4th team in NBA history to force the Game 7 after losing the first 3 games. Jason Tatum at 14 points and 11 rebounds for the Celtics, but he sprained his left ankle during the game's first possession and hobbled throughout the contest. That was tough because it kind of impacted me the rest of the night, Tatum said. It swelled up. It's frustrating that I was a shell of myself. It was tough to move. It was frustrating, especially happening on the first play. Miami shot 48.8% from the field, including 14 of 28 from three-point range. Duncan Robinson and Gabe Vincent added 10 points apiece. Martin made 4 treys and collected 10 rebounds, and Butler also had 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 steals. I have so much of a belief in myself, and this group of guys, I know how good of a team we are, and we made it happen, Butler said. We stay together as a team, and we are excited and happy, but we have 4 more wins to do. The Celtics connected on 39% of their shots, were 9 of 42, 21.4% from behind the arc. Boston went 16 of 77, 20.8% from three-point range over the final 2 games of the series. Brown shot just 8 for 23 from the floor, 1 for 9 from long distance, and committed 8 turnovers on Monday. We failed. I failed, Brown said. We let the whole city down. Boston trailed 52-41 at halftime, and White kept the Celtics in the contest with 13 third-quarter points. White put up 8 straight points as Boston trimmed a 16-point deficit and a half with 8:29 remaining in the third. The Celtics are unable to creep closer than 7, and Martin shot short baseline jumper with 51.5 seconds left to get the Heat a 76 lead heading into the final quarter. Miami started the fourth quarter strong with a three-pointer from Martin and back-to-back baskets by Butler to push the lead to 17. Later, 4 straight points by Adebayo increased the advantage to 21 with 6:55 remaining. Miami's advantage topped out at 23 points. We talked about going to get a tough one on the road, and we did just that, Butler said. We're not satisfied. We got 4 more wins to get. So, yeah, that's another article that I read. Yeah, and I'm going to share my personal thoughts about all this. Now, personally, I'm a huge fan of the Miami Heat. I've been a fan of the Miami Heat ever since I was in middle school. Ever since those days, I was a huge fan of the Miami Heat, and I've been watching their performances every now and then when I got the chance to. When I wasn't too busy, I was able to watch some of their games. It was interesting to see the Miami Heat win the championship in 2012 and in 2013. They won twice in a row against the Spurs, I think it was. Yeah, that was pretty impressive, honestly. Beating the Spurs, honestly, back in those days. It was a pretty interesting series, in my opinion. I enjoyed watching the Heat. They're my favorite team of all time, the only NBA team I'll ever root for. So I was interested to see all that play out. You know, the Miami Heat, winning 3 championships during their entire history. Being a huge fan of the Miami Heat, I was interested in seeing, the Miami Heat, win those 2 championships, in 2012 and 2013. And I've been interested in some of their games. I've been trying to keep up with some of their activity. Yeah, I've been trying to keep up with some of their activity, trying to keep up with what they've been up to, trying to watch their activity. I've been trying my best to keep up with what they've been up to. But the Heat, it's not going to be easy for them. They have to play the Denver Nuggets, who are the top seed this season. Although, to be fair, the Denver Nuggets haven't won any championships at all so far. They haven't won, as of now, as of 2023, the Denver Nuggets have yet to win 1 championship title. So if the Heat end up losing to the Nuggets and the Nuggets end up winning, that would make history. I mean, that would be pretty cool to see for a lot of people. And if that were to happen, I wouldn't lose sleep over it. I would be okay with that personally. But as a Heat fan, I want to see the Heat win. Obviously, I want to see the Heat win, win the championship. That's just my personal preference. That's just what I personally would want. But yeah, that's all I have to say, honestly. It's pretty interesting how the Heat managed to win, and they were so close to losing against the Celtics. They lost 3 games in a row, and I thought that was over for them, but they still came back in the 7th game, and they came through. But yeah, those are just my thoughts. Take care, everybody. Another video for my Storytime channel.